Hello and welcome to Renaissance Minis. Today we're going to be doing another craft project. Let's get started. Today I'm making a couch. This is what you will need. You will need one jumbo popsicle stick. It's going to be for the base and the sides. You will need some balsa wood with this thickness. I will put everything down in the description box below, including all measurements. One popsicle stick and one coffee stir stick. You'll also need an x-Acto knife, some material, some felt, a ruler, a pen or pencil, Craft Smart paint and burnt umber, a glue gun or tacky glue. The first thing I'm going to do is cut the base of the couch. The base of the couch are these measurements. Using the jumbo popsicle stick. Then I'm cutting two sides, the right and left side. One and 1/8 of an inch by 1 inch. Then I'm cutting the couch kickboard, which is the bottom front of the couch. It measures 3 inches wide by ½ an inch tall. We're using a popsicle stick for this. Now I'm going to cut the couch back, which is 3 1/8 wide by 1 3/8 tall. And I'm going to mark a line here. This is a 1/2 inch up from the bottom, and that is where the base of the couch is going to sit. Now I'm going to take the coffee stir stick and cut the 2 rounded ends off. At 1 inch. One inch in on each side and then cut it. While that's drying, we're going to move to this next step. I'm going to take the kickboard and cover it in material. By the way, you can always use cardboard for this project. Just use a thicker one. I'm finding a good part of the material because that's the pattern that's going to be shown on the bottom. So I want to make sure I have the material wrapped how I like it. So if you have a pattern on your material, make sure that you have it looking like you want it. Once you have the pattern centered, you can now cut the material out. You want to make sure the wood is exposed on the sides because this is where you will be gluing it on. Now I'm going to glue material to the base piece of the couch. It doesn't matter too much what the pattern is here. This is just going to be the edge piece. I'm going to cut off the sides to expose the wood, so when I glue it onto the sides it'll be wood against wood. So make sure the material doesn't exceed the wood. Base piece, and then the kickboard will be glued here. Now I'm going to be covering the two side pieces, right and left side. Now I'm going to be taking these two sticks that we painted and I'm going to be gluing them on to the side of the sides. I'm going to be using hot glue, but if you live in a hotter climate, it's probably better to use the tacky glue or another type of glue or a wood glue. I'm gluing it right onto the center of the stick so that there's a little space on either side of the stick. I am now marking my pieces so I know which side is the inside. I'm only going halfway down on the inside to about here, a little over half. Now I have removed a little piece here so that the wood can be glued to the wood. I'm now going to repeat that on this side. Now I'm going to cover the two side pieces with material. You need to cut your material wide enough so that there's a seam allowance on both sides. You can also use fabric glue if you'd like. Cutting off the excess so it's not bulky. Can't have anything there. Snip that off. Wrapping this top part straight across so there's a little seam. Smaller glue gun would be helpful here. So I've wrapped this around the edge. Now I'm going to pull this back. Side is wrapped and this comes down to here. And then right in here, I'm going to pull this back so that we can glue. Our back piece is going to go right here. So we need to have that wood on wood. Now you have the wood exposed, so this will sit right here. Now I'm going to repeat this on the other arm of the couch. Might have to work with it a little bit, but you'll get it. Now I'm going to glue the kick plate onto the front of this. I need to remove a little bit of material on this side so that I can glue the base on. So you may have to make some adjustments. Totally okay if that happens. You want to make sure that this fits properly. I put glue in an L shape here. And I'm going to glue this part to this part. And I'm placing this on top. Making sure everything is level and giving some firm pressure. I'm going to cut a little piece of 1/2-inch foam board. If you don't have any 1/2-inch foam board, just go ahead and stack a few pieces of foam board. I think I'm going to glue that on the underside here as kind of the base. Adding some foam board to the bottom of the couch is going to help. So cut a piece that fits perfectly in here. If you have the 1/2-inch foam board as from extra from the house, great. If not, you can use 1/4-inch foam board and stack it up and glue it to the bottom. And then that's going to give you a much better connection with the wood, and it's going to be a much stronger bond to put the back on. And that's how it will go. So I'm going to glue this onto the bottom. So now that I have everything on, the sides are on, the bottom is on, and I can put little legs on here, feet on there, and put little feet on there. And now I have a great surface to glue the back onto. So now we're going to cover this back piece. So now I'm going to add some poofy stuff to this. But before I do that, we're going to measure a 1/2 inch up from the bottom. We don't want our poofy stuff to exceed this area here. So draw an area here and don't come down too low. In fact, I'm going to come up a little bit higher because we have to allow room for our cushions, and they're going to be puffy too. So we don't want to go too low with the puff stuff. So we want to keep this puffy stuff inside this area here and don't go below that line. So I'm going to add some glue here just in this area. Then we're going to stick the batting right on it. And I'm taking my fabric and I'm watching where the pattern is so that I have it the way I want it. This is where I need to have a seam. This part's going to come over like this. I want another seam. So I'm going to mark where my puffy stuff is here. This is where I want another seam. Piece of felt. I'm going to glue it to here. I'm going to glue it up over this edge here. I'm going to do a little bit of a roll here. I'm going to take this seam and I'm going to do a bit of a roll and try to get this up under here, tucked like that. So I'm going to add my glue here to this line or just above it. I'm going to roll the fabric and press and hold it. Pulling it down and pressing and holding it. Add some more stuffing now. Now I'm cutting the sides like this, leaving a little bit of excess on each side. We need to free these sides. There we go. So once I have my sides free, I'm making sure the stuffing goes in there because I'm going to do a pinch right here with the fabric. I'm going to make sure the stuffing is in there real good. And then I'm going to add some glue in here with your fingers, like this. Just hold it for a little bit. And then do the same on the other side. Cut this up to about here. And then make sure your stuffing is in there. And then add a little bit of glue right here. And then pinch. Now cut your flaps off a little bit high, like right about there. Then I'm going to cut this extra piece of material off here. This is the doubled up piece. We're going to cut that off. So I'm going to come in pretty close here. I'm just going to make a seam right there. I'm going to cut off all of this extra fabric here. Only cut it after you've made the seam. If you prematurely cut your fabric, then you won't have enough room to pull. So make sure you leave yourself extra. You won't have enough room to fold it over without seriously burning your fingers, which I don't want to do here. All right, so now that I have that seam there, I can pull this back and I can cut off this excess. Has your poofy part there, it's up a ½ inch so that when we attach it here to the couch, we can do that. And right up these sides. Don't be shy with glue. Get it set. And then press like your life depended on it. And hold that together really tight. Press it together. Now we're going to handle these sides. And you want to put glue right on here. I know this seems counterintuitive, but this is going to keep it from fraying. And then just kind of take a stick or something and just smear the glue on the fabric edge so that it doesn't fray. Just want to kind of wrap it around there like that. Cut the little frayed pieces off, and that will keep it from fraying so badly. So I'm going to cut this other side now too. All right, so here's the next step. We're going to do the cushions. Hang in there, we're in the home stretch. So we're going to take 2 pieces of foam board, 1 3/8 inches wide by 1 inches deep. And if you want to go ahead and take the paper off, because it's going to come off anyway if you use the cheaper foam board. This is going to be our kind of our cushion, so to speak. So now we're going to put some fluffy stuff on these. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of this felt and I'm going to wrap this in felt. I'm going to use 1 piece of felt for each. It doesn't have to go all the way to the sides. Just using the stuff I already cut. And add some pillow stuffing to them. We're just going to put the glue on. And we're just going to put the stuffing on there. Again, with this step, I'm selecting the pattern. I'm seeing where the pattern is going to fall on the cushion, because I want a certain look. You want to cut this piece oversized to the cushion. Something like that. And then you're just going to glue this fabric. You want to have enough so that you have room to pull this over. You're just going to pull this over and glue it to the bottom. Just like that. So that there's no seam up here. Seams are going to be on the side, but you won't see them because the cushions will be touching each other. Then once you have it like that, you can cut this excess off if you want to. Like that. And then you'll come in here on the side and you'll make 2 cuts. 1 on each corner. 1 to each corner of the foam board. 1 too. So you'll have a little flap here. And you'll do that on the other side too. One on this corner of the foam board and one on this corner of the foam board. And then you'll repeat that on this side as well. We're going to cut these two bottom ones off. This is the underside of the cushion now. We're going to cut those two flaps off. We're going to pull these down on both sides. And we're going to cut these off like that. So now you should have 3 on each side. Here, here, and here. Same on this side. So you're going to tuck these in like this. This one's kind of uneven. Let's fix it. So you're going to tuck these in like this. Just a little extra string there. Cutting that off. So I'm going to add some glue in here, and I'm putting one side down like this. And then I'm going to put a little bit more glue, and then I'm putting this side down like this. And then I'm going to put this one over it. And if you want to, you can cut this in a little V shape. It'll probably be a lot cleaner. And then just glue here and fold this over like a little candy bar wrapper. There you have it. There's your little 1/24 scale couch. And if you don't get it right the first time, don't worry, because I didn't either. Here's my first one. My first one is a mess. I had to do all kinds of stuff to it. This is the first go round. See how much better that is? So, you know, if you don't get it right the first time, don't worry about it. You can always do it again, and practice makes perfect. Okay, we have to put the little feet on this couch. I think I'm going to use these. These are from the dollar store. They're little polymer beads, and I think those brown ones would work just fine. They look like little donuts, don't they? But I think those would make great feet on the bottom of the couch. All right, thank you so much for watching as always. Click subscribe if you'd like to see more of my videos. Click like if you like the content. That really helps me out, especially since I'm a new channel here. Of course, if you don't like it, don't click like, but if you do, please do. And I will see you on the next one, because we're going to make some more furniture for this cute country cottage. Bye.